We have our first keynote for today with the topic of procurement's role in advancing ESG, a roadmap from planning to implementation. Our speaker for this keynote is Mr. Ravindra Gadre, the Chief Procurement Officer and SCM, Apcotex Industries Limited. To tell you a little more about Mr. Ravindra, he is a performance-driven professional with over 3 decades of rich and extensive experience in leadership. Mr. Ravindra has a visionary perspective, helping him establish himself as a global influencer in his field. His hard work and dedication has earned him opportunities to work on global and prominent projects. With a culmination of rich and extensive experience in sourcing and supply chain, his expertise lies in strategic planning and procurement, supply chain, process automation, ERP support and implementation, team building, and leadership. I request Mr. Ravindra to join me on stage, and could I have a big round of applause for him while he does? Thank you so much. You all have been an amazing audience.
Good morning, all. It's working properly. Am I audible? Yes, great. So, talking on ESG in procurement field. So, I think about 5 years back when I first heard about ESG and the trainings were on and everything, procurement's role majorly came in scope 3, particularly about transportation. And then we were relaxed because, first they'll start, majorly scope 1 will start with water, then electricity, and then in the scope 3, they'll come to the actual transportation and all those kind of stuffs. Of course, taking in the suppliers also in the foray. So then I started reading more and more about ESG, because once it becomes a law, you have to abide by. And then I started working on it. So what are the procurement initiatives? The first one is, of course, carbon footprint. Now, we at Apcotex, we are not waiting for scope 3 initiatives getting initiated as far as government directives are concerned. This year, we are, as per government directives, we are collecting the data, and from next year onwards, the actual target setting and everything will happen. But we are already onto it. So as far as, for me? No, thank you. So as far as suppliers are concerned, so where we all can initiate reducing the carbon footprint. So first one is having the pipeline supplies. Now we all know it is not possible for everyone. So, and pipeline supplies is for in and out. So you can receive the raw materials via pipeline, particularly the hazardous one, the gaseous one, and then supply your products as well from the pipelines. The second one is having the nearest supplies. Now, we all know that when supplier is nearer to you, he will charge you a premium and try to offset your transportation difference. Finally, we are concerned with our landed cost, and accordingly, we can certainly give a higher weightage or take higher volumes from the suppliers nearer to us, because one product in Apcotex we procure about, it's a small volume compared to big companies. We procure about 3,500 tons a month, and it's gas transported under pressure as liquid. So we have those big 40 feet bullets traveling all on the road. So we have one supplier in Delhi NCR and one in Dahej, and we require it in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So what we do is we try and procure maximum quantity from Gujarat supplier, Dahej supplier, and minimize the transportation from Delhi NCR. So there is a huge carbon footprint reduction. The third important thing is, as far as sales is concerned, because I handle also the supply chain part. So converting sale of packed material to bulk. Now here, if you consider a 20 metric ton, or now we are we have reached up to 38 metric ton size tankers. Delivering the product in 38 metric ton tankers versus delivering 38 metric tons in drums of 200 kgs, there is a huge, huge carbon saving. Next is boiler operations. You can shift from coal to briquettes. In Maharashtra, the regulations have already started chipping in that you have to use the 50% briquettes and 50% coal. Gujarat is, it is still not implemented. The regulations have not been started. So we have already started this part also. The next is EPR. I hope everybody is aware about EPR, particularly about the plastic waste, plastic generation. So the main is reduce, recycle, and reuse. The next part is having 30% of recycled material. Now this is where the challenge lies, because all along, I mean, for last 3 decades, I have been procuring plastic drums, particularly HDP drums, with virgin material. And that was a key area. Now, suddenly government comes and tells you, you have to use 30% recycled material. What happens to the strength of the drum? When you use recycled material, that is one. Naturally, for increasing the strength, you will have to increase the tear weight of the drum, which will cost you more. So this is a challenge, and this is where the innovation will come into picture, because without increasing the weight, without increasing the cost, you will have to give same drums at same price and probably the same weight. Next is waste disposal. This is only to the authorized factories or recyclers. So this is very important. Government has started charging the penalty if your total net plastic generation and distribution and waste management is not in control. Next part is, of course, in-plant initiatives. So this, many of this will fall in scope 1 and 2, but procurement being at the helm of procuring all those things. So one is ZLD, zero liquid discharge. Particularly in the chemical companies, this is most important. And zero liquid discharge will give you all the water treated back, which you can use for non-potable uses. And of course, with certain more filtrations, you can use it as a potable water also. Next is WHRB, waste heat recovery boiler. So many of us are using steam in our factories, and many a times steam consumption always will have a recovery system. Third one is conveyor-based movements. Many factories will have forklifts which are transferring the packed material from plant to internal warehouse and then into the trucks for dispatches. So if you have the conveyor systems and particularly using the gravitational force for transfer, then it becomes very easy, it becomes carbon neutral. Next is, if you cannot implement the conveyor-based movement, you can convert the forklifts into battery-operated forklifts, but beware, all the chemical plants cannot handle battery-operated forklifts because at the start, it requires a spark. And many chemical plants do not allow a spark inside the factory. So even your cars, petrol cars are not allowed inside the plant. Diesel plants with the flame arrestor can be used inside the plant. So that's a caution. Then, of course, the insulations, wherever the steam is transferred, the insulation of all the pipelines, reactors, vessels is important. And then the steam traps. So this part comes majorly into your energy management. Next is electricity from renewable sources. Apcotex is going ahead with 70% of its electricity requirements going on to renewables, solar and wind. So we have 2 plants, one in Maharashtra and one in Gujarat. So Maharashtra, we already had the wind power, so we are now going ahead with the solar power. And in Gujarat, we are taking a wind and solar both plants together. Currently, there is a government scheme, which is a group captive scheme, whereby you get hefty savings. And believe me, your return on investment is less than 1 year. So this is very important. First is from the carbon footprint point of view, you are using less electricity, which is predominantly manufactured in India by burning coal. So that is one part. Second is there is a system called banking. So electricity needs to be stored. So why 70% we are going ahead is because of the banking rules, because there are certain rules beyond which you cannot store electricity more than that, and whatever is produced will be lapsed, and you will end up paying for that electricity. So you just need to be cautious. Next is the logistics and supply chain. Now we come in scope 3. One is using hub and spoke model. So what we do is make the tanker movements of your finished products as near to the customer location, and then have the packing in small packs. So that is one. Of course, instead of having one tanker transported, you'll end up at least about 6 to 7 trucks transporting, and they'll consume the same amount of diesel. Next part is converting from diesel to CNG or electric vehicles. Now, electric vehicles charging system is a problem, but Apcotex is right now thinking about, we have a plant, both plants are, our Maharashtra plant is about 50 kilometers away from JNPT, and Gujarat plant is about 120 kilometers from Hazira. And in both plants, we are converting our trailers for export-import movement into electric trailers. Electric trailers have arrived in India, and they are working fine. So next is in-office initiatives. So initially, we were thinking about what carbon footprint we can save on office. So everything comes in plant and logistics, supply chain, procurement. So in office, there are various scopes. One is putting up your ACs at 24 degrees. So the moment you keep delta between the outside temperature and the inside temperature as much lesser, then it is beneficial. Second is IGBC, that is Indian Green Building Council certification. So Apcotex is right now shifting our office in Navi Mumbai, within Navi Mumbai only, and we are going with the green building. Next is, of course, reducing paper consumption. This has started quite a few years back. And of course, the employee transportation. So many of us will have buses for transportation used for shifts, general shifts, and even for office employees. So they can be converted onto CNG or electrical. And last but not the least, carpooling. So this requires more of a disciplined way of working, because after COVID, most of us have the laptops. And then we decided that we will move at certain times. So if it is 9 to 5, we'll do 9 to 5, go home and open the laptop and work again. As simple as that. But that saves a lot of carbon footprint. Thank you very much. Should I leave this here? Yeah. Want me to wait?
Thank you so much. I'd like to call on stage Mrs. Shweta Rane to please felicitate Mr. Ravindra. Could I please have you? Thank you so much.